It's the place you go when you finish your show. We're your two best friends. Our names are Max and Ben. We're self-proclaimed television experts. It's Reality Alert.
Oh my god.
Oh my
Oh my
god.
God.
Oh my god. It's episode 5, baby. I can't believe
We're
we're
back.
halfway through the season. How did this happen?
I don't want it to be.
No. No.
Unlike with Celebrity Big Brother, where we're like, oh God, okay, we're halfway there. Just one more push and we're going to be done.
Please.
But with this show, it's no.
No, go back to the pods. I think they need some
Please.
more pod time,
They
honestly.
do. They do.
They need to work. They all seem to need to work some more stuff out. If we learned something this episode,
Oh, yes.
all the couples have some issues remaining that or that they're learning about each other.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a lot of the conversations in this episode. I think it's probably good that they started communicating more. Maybe not as much. Shane and Natalie still having some really bad communication barriers, I think. But everybody else, I think, is like finally starting to say the things that have been bothering them. And we kind of get the theme of this episode is kind of like honeymoon is over, sort of. And we're getting back to reality. And hey, we need to start really working out these issues if we're going to make this work for a lifetime, if we're going to make this scientifically proven experiment work.
Another theme that I got out of this episode is that it's almost like making people get engaged after 10 days and then forcing them to get married, like 3 weeks later, puts in almost ridiculous amount of an insane amount of pressure on them.
Beach volleyball will fix everything, Max. It's
yes,
okay.
but beach volleyball really fixes it.
It really does. If you're ever having relationship problems, you just get a game of beach volleyball going.
That's what it will
but
do.
Then people are going to get insecure that their partners are too extroverted.
Yeah, sorry that it's just you have too much fun with your friends.
I don't like this.
I just don't. I love you, but not when you have fun with your friends. I just don't love you when you have fun with your friends. When you and your friends look cute playing in the water.
Splashing
dancing
around.
with each other, splashing
drinking Coors
around.
Lights.
When you and your boys roll around in the sand, flop it around like seals.
Okay, you know what? Now it is starting to sound a little bizarre. Yeah.
I don't love you anymore. But when we get back to just us, I love you more than anything in the entire world.
But just us.
But isn't that enough? Isn't our love enough? Ben, I did check out this article in the LA Times. The Times, they talked to the creator and executive producer, Chris Colin, I think it's pronounced. So he's the head of Kinetic Content. And they're also behind Lifetime's Married at First Sight, which we talked about yesterday.
Oh, yes.
Okay. A little bit. That's where one of the therapists turned out like shacking up with one of the contestants.
Right. Yes, that was the show Sophia was recommending.
Yes, Maria also talked about that with us, one of our listeners. So apparently this article was supposed to be about like how big the first season was and also about like the criticism of some of the casting choices, but that like never came up, the criticism of the casting choices. Or if it did, it was very brief. I don't really remember it.
Yeah.
I gotta say. But so I just want to talk about 3 quick things from the article. Not super quick, but here's one quote from the article that I really liked. This is from the creator. The show really specifically tries not to have a point of view. So it's not like the show's point of view is Love is Blind. The show asks the question, can it be blind? Is it blind or is it?
Well, then they need to add a question mark at the end of the title. They need to add a question mark. Love is blind?
Maybe for some people it is, and some people it isn't. You see that in the Shake and Deepty story. it's very evident that he isn't attracted to her. He talks about that. He doesn't have this attraction. There's reasons we can speculate why that might be. Again, the show isn't taking a point of view. It is basically asking the question and letting these people kind of experience their own journey, blah, 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 blah. It's like, okay, if the show isn't taking a point of view, why do we have these hosts whose names we obviously don't know literally saying this is a proven experiment
Right.
that
Yeah.
works, basically telling us that love is blind? Why is the name of the show Love is Blind?
Yeah. It should have a question mark on the end.
And
Love
you
is
shouldn't say
blind?
it's a proven experiment.
Yeah. They say that often.
And then also have only sound bites from like every contestant saying love is blind. Like, thank God we had the pods. Like, this really
Yeah.
works. You never have a soundbite from somebody questioning, being like, wow, I wonder if this show like really is actually helpful or if this is all bullshit. You don't
Yeah.
ever get a viewpoint
And
of like,
potentially damaging and trauma-inducing.
I wonder if I shouldn't have come here because I'm being exploited, you know?
I don't know. They look like they were having fun on that beach. I don't know. They got a free vacation out of it. Come on.
Yeah, this was to another question. They talked about couples that we don't see. He said they don't really feature on the show, so it's not like people go, oh, these people. But there was a guy named Joey, so that was the silver fox, and a woman named Caitlin who got engaged. Joey's on there. He's got sort of prematurely white hair. Okay. And that he got engaged to Caitlin, who I don't think you ever really see. I think we saw Caitlin a little bit. And then there's this woman, Kara, who, again, she might appear in the background. She's got this long blonde hair.
Oh, I remember Kara. She was featured in the first episode quite a bit, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, she was. And she's got this long blonde hair. This guy, Jason, who's a tall guy with glasses, he has glasses. You kind of see him, and he's a flight attendant. He has this kind of distinct look if you see a picture of him. He says, I know Caitlin and Joey stayed together for a while. They got engaged, and he says they may still be together. I don't know for a fact. He doesn't know the situations, but we can look into that, and we will reach out to these people, see if we can get them on the show. It would be interesting to hear what it's like if they know why they weren't chose for the pod, see what it was like being in the pod, see if they were upset that they weren't like picked.
I would love that.
What the situation was. So we're going to see.
That would be a really interesting.
What we can do, and maybe you guys can message them for us and say, "Come on, Reality Alert!"
Come on, Rascal Army, get out!
Come on, Rascal Army, get out there! We're Max and Ben, the big rascals. Come on, get rascally. This is just one more thing. The question they ask is, they basically say, they ask like, is there a social media mandate saying like, is it required that they don't, update anything, or is it required that they stay off of social media or anything, or dating apps, or
because of potential spoilers is what the speculation.
Yes, but they are not. Basically, what we learned is they're not required even to stay off of dating apps, and they're not required to do anything. So here's
what
the
about
answer.
showing their partners, like in their Instagram posts and whatnot.
I'm just going to say the answer because he says it. Mandate is a strong word. Pretty much every show has spoilers at this point before it starts. There is no mandate. There are no requirements. There's a strong suggestion that we would love to have people enjoy watching them go through this experience. I know we're in a culture where we broadcast everything to the world and do whatever. Part of this experiment, it's an experiment.
It's an experiment.
Is about not doing that. People are going to do what they're going to do. But I think generally people buy into the idea that this is something that they do not want to spoil for the audience.
Okay. That's fair, I guess.
I don't know what this reminds. There's some other show where like this is the same thing where it's like you don't have. Oh, it's with Jeopardy. It's the same thing with Jeopardy. You technically like that you're not required not to spoil your thing. I think with an interview with Amy, she
right,
infamous Amy, I forget her last name, but everyone loves Amy. She's the best. We stand. She had the same thing. It's like they're like, you can tell your closest friends, you can kind of tell the people that you want, but we don't want you to tell a certain amount of people how far you get because that would spoil it for all of the watchers years if things were spoiled and
For
got out
several episodes.
to the
Yeah.
press that you were the first person to, you know, to get to second place behind Ken Jennings, you know,
Sure.
because she
Sure.
got
Yeah.
to that position months or
Yeah.
weeks before it actually happened.
Right.
And it's not like she like signed a contract that she had to say that. It's just strongly, it's just like there's no mandate, but you know, we would be happy if you didn't do it. So I think it's just like there's a culture of like we know that it would be better for the show and better for the fans if we didn't
Yeah.
reveal it.
I yesterday I took a look at some of the social media pages of some of the contestants of Love is Blind, and it does seem pretty locked down in terms of they're not really revealing much if they're in a relationship or not currently.
I'm very spoiler verse. I'm glad you're looking because I'm very afraid. I did see on Reddit somebody said that Shake had posted something that may have hinted at something. So I do say if you're very
Interesting.
spoiler averse, maybe
I
just stay
just scrolled
away.
through pictures on Instagram, so I didn't. Yeah.
So if you saw Shakes, maybe there is nothing. I just know someone saw something on Shakes that could have been the story. I don't know because I didn't even click on the Reddit post, but someone said this thing on Shakes could be a spoiler.
Interesting.
I don't know because I didn't click on the Reddit post.
Interesting.
But
yeah,
you know,
and maybe he's fucking around too in terms of messing with people.
Dude, it could be anything, or it could be a picture of him and Deep D together. You know, like it could be literally anything.
Yeah. Interesting. That's good to know, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like I would say if you're super spoiler averse like I am, I'm staying away from like looking at any of his content.
Yeah.
I
run a lot of social media stuff on our page, so I kind of have to follow some of these people. So
I think it's
noticed.
It's good that we follow them, but I'm just like I just get scared because I don't want it to like influence like my hot takes, you know. But I know that we
you don't
will
want them to
be
get cold.
We're going to be doing the podcast a lot quicker coming up next week. Like within 2 days, we'll have done all the episodes. So that's very good. So we'll be very up on the social medias coming up. But yeah, these are some fun little updates coming up. And now we can get into the recap. But I think this was a fun little article to go into.
Oh,
you know,
that's
get
great.
Some news.
Yeah. It's really
it is a good article. It's pretty short. And you get to there's some other stuff in there and just some good basic questions. So yeah, LA Times actually did a good job.
We'll tweet that out for people who want to check it out on our Twitter, @reality_alert, and you can take a look at the article there.
Yeah, and then you should follow us on the Twitter.
Yeah.
And the Instagram, Reality Alert Podcast. And you should subscribe to us on YouTube, Reality Alert. Thank you. It helps the podcast.
That's the whole thing. Let's get into it. We open up with this Danielle and Nick scene. And
woof. Who saw this coming? Where's the
trouble
toothpaste?
in paradise? I thought their biggest argument was the toothpaste argument. And here we are.
I thought she was just going to swap it out.
Yikes. This was like out of nowhere. I thought she was sick the whole time, but now like we're finding out she was like in a closet crying. Where was the footage of the closet crying scenes?
Well, she was in the closet.
She was in the closet, so they couldn't.
The camera's in the closet.
They couldn't get a camera in there.
I wanted to see the footage of her on the balcony with the binoculars, like spying on him. The telescope. Sorry, it's not funny. She was going through a hard time. Sorry.
No, the telescope thing is what's funny. That was funny.
It's not real, so it's not funny. No, so it is funny because it's not real.
Right. No, I mean this was it seemed like Nick was certainly shocked by this, coming back and hearing these feelings coming from her, that this jealousy has just come out of nowhere, and I just wish she had gone with him to the beach, and then none of this would have.
Well, I think she was initially sick. All right, so let's break down exactly what happened. So Nick goes in and he breaks the news to Danielle that Kyle and Shayna, like the talk of the town was that Kyle and Shayna broke up, and he's like, yeah, everyone was like, I bet it's because one of them is an atheist, someone is devoutly religious, and she's like, yeah, I could have told you that. And then Nick is like, yeah, Sal and Mallory are cute, but it wouldn't surprise me, you know, if something didn't work out there. And he's like, yeah. And then I pressed Jarrett about Mallory. And then I think he might have mentioned there something about like Mallory being beautiful or something like that,
Yeah.
which might not have been great because Danielle has some jealousy issues.
Yeah. Some insecurities here and
So
there.
that might not have been great. But then also, Danielle did fill him in about Jarrett and Mallory and crying about the whole thing. So, Nick loves this because Nick loves drama. Nick is like us.
Nick is us. Yeah,
I
he's the
feel
audience.
Nick would be great on this podcast.
Oh,
He would
he
be like,
would.
guys, you don't even know the half of it. Let me tell you about what happened on the beach volleyball day. We have to get him on the pod. He would be like, look at my condo socks. Like, you have no idea. And then Danielle says, I wish I was there. And then Nick is like, I just wanted to get back to you. And then she was like, well, it looks like you were having plenty of fun without me.
This is a narrative, this episode. I do not like when someone is having fun and I'm not.
Yes, you're right. That comes
thing.
up in like everything. Everyone is starting to learn that like what it's like to be with someone outside, like in the real world without them or just with other people.
Yeah.
And apparently that is very hard for them.
It's very bizarre.
And he was
but
like,
this fight escalates very quickly.
He was talking to the girls about capitalism. Dude, Nick is fit in with us so well.
Yeah, he really would.
He has no idea. We got to have him on the podcast to talk about capitalism
and
because
condos.
We love it. We are Scrooge McDucks. That's a joke.
Please, yes, thank you. _ bold.
I think everyone can tell.
Okay.
Then and then they get into like a little tiff about
my wife just said, Ben, you've been away from me for 20 minutes. What the fuck is going on? Babe, please.
It's
babe.
the podcast money. It just changes you. I like that then they get into a little argument about where he was walking. He was like, I was just like walking, and she's like, I thought I saw you walking to the beach with the girls,
Yeah. Very, very odd. The jealousy is very real here.
But it's just sad. I mean, it is very sad because when I think about jealousy, it's people often get. I think one of my views on jealousy is, especially with a partner who really loves you, is that a lot of people don't want to be jealous, especially someone like her.
Yeah.
I mean, jealousy is not an attribute that a lot of people hang on to and that they go like, oh, I love being jealous. Jealousy is not a trait that is great to have. It's not a thing that many people are like, oh, well, I think jealousy is like a great tribute that I have. It's painful to be jealous. It's something that you try to work out, and it's very hard, I think, for a lot of people to let go of, and it's something you really need to work on.
Especially hard on a show like this. In this context, this is the worst environment for someone that might have some of those insecurities or jealousies. Because that's only going to fuel those jealousies much, much worse. Because if she's seen the show before, then she knows that things can change. She knows that people flirt with each other and that drama is created constantly. And things are probably running through her head when she's by herself in that hotel room.
So she says she's in the closet and she cried for 3 hours. And he's like, okay, well, I told her I didn't have to go, but I don't see how this changes anything about us. Like, I just went to a party and then I was so excited to get back to you. And I told you that I didn't have to go. And she's like, I just don't trust you. And I think this is where he just gets a little mad. And I kind of I understand why he got so frustrated, because he's been very patient with her, and a lot of what she's been going with, he's with like, she's always been like, I don't deserve you and all these issues, and he's just been so patient and so kind to her. And he really wants to help her, but she hasn't brought him into it before. you know?
Yeah.
So I just think it was like that snap reaction of like,
Where is this
why are
coming from?
like
Yeah.
why is it coming from? And now you're bringing me into it and you're turning it against me, and that
Yeah.
defense mode kicked in. So I do see like why you would be like, and I get why he walked away too, because it's like, oh no, like I need to, and I like that it wasn't like a Shane, like it's over, like I'm actually
Yeah.
storming
Yeah.
out. It was like, hold on, I need to walk away for a second. I'm just walking outside to like our little outdoor area, but I'm not totally leaving the situation, you know?
And we
Like
do
he
get a
left, but then
fall.
she's like, can you see her be like, can I come back and can you come back inside? You know, it's not like the
Yeah.
night is over. Like I kind of
Yeah.
yeah, I kind
We
of
saw the heat of the argument because that's what the entertainment was,
yes.
but things I think cooled down, and we do get a scene, couple scenes from now where they're having dinner and they're making up, and she's explaining some of those feelings in a more calm way, and they're having a good conversation about it. It's just it's TV, and we caught the heat of their moment.
He had a
you know?
good line though, man. He put things into a very good line, even though he said it in kind of an angry way because it was the heat of the argument. He said, "You're not making an active effort to stop toxicity."
Yeah.
Like he said exactly the way that he was feeling, I felt. You know, like it's a little like, do you know what I mean? Like he was saying
Yeah.
that like he's like, by turning it on me, I feel that like you are not really processing exactly what's going on. You know,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like these are your feelings, but like I don't get why that has to be that like now like she just so turns it on by saying like I don't trust you.
Yeah.
You know?
It must be difficult for these people in the moment to be able to contextualize these things within the universe of this insane reality show that they're on. That's my feelings.
So that's why I just think him being able to put it into words in that moment, I was like, damn, this guy really knows how to like kind of express his feelings. And I don't think that was necessarily like a totally mean way to put it, because I don't think it was being like, you're an asshole. I think it was like,
Yeah.
you were not making an effort in this, you know, like to stop acting in this way towards me. He, you know, I don't know. I just thought that he put it well.
Yeah.
I liked it. I don't know, but I think that the way that they do end up communing with each other is very sweet and nice, and I'm interested to see how it goes.
As far as arguments go, I don't think it's that bad of an argument. I don't think it's that
No, I
damaging to the relationship. I think a lot of new relationships that are fresh are dealing with these sorts of jealousies and insecurities within their first few months or whatever, and especially in this case where they're on reality TV and this type of drama is encouraged and all this stuff. It's these types of arguments are bound to happen.
I do
I
think
feel
she
like.
has a long way to go, though.
Sure, sure.
I think she has a lot to work through. Um,
In terms of her insecurities, you mean?
yes,
Yeah.
kind of from what she says, and I'm just not sure if she's ready for like.
She is aware though.
She's aware, but I'm just not sure if she's ready for like this long for like marriage.
Yeah. Again, I personally think the context is so important of the specific place they're in and what they're doing.
Yeah, I know. It's wild, man. I'm just like, but I think some people can like totally are just like more fitting to deal with this.
Yeah.
You know what? You know, I know it's
Yes,
like a
yes,
terrible thing
yes.
to go on, but I think some people are like just more fitting to like roll with the punches. Like they're not going to be affected as much by going on this like kind of reality show,
Yeah. I
like
still
base level.
I still think they're my pick for if there's a couple to get married, it's going to be them.
Yeah, yeah.
Definitely.
I mean,
Although the
to
only thing I
get
really
married,
think
yes.
could break up this marriage is this issue that they have with their cat and dog, and are
Yeah,
they going to be
that
able to live
is.
in
We'll
this
have
thing?
to get to that because that was definitely. I don't mean to drag another elephant into this already crowded condo, but that was the elephant in the room.
Yeah. I mean, they're not going to separate from their babies. Anyways, we'll get to
No.
that. We'll get
Oh,
to
mommy and daddy having trouble. We get a vlog from Shane and Natalie brushing their teeth. Shane tries to brush her teeth, and that's where she draws the line. But she draws another line, so he can't have friends and play in the water with them, and he can't brush her teeth. So we're learning things.
Yeah, boundaries. It's
Boundaries.
good. Yeah.
Shaken Deep to use healing crystals. That was another little vlog.
Interesting.
Danielle and Nick. So this we see they have coffee in bed, and she's very open. She says she can be very mistrusting of men. Oh, she tells
Yeah.
us because she's insecure, and she says it's like an eerie feeling, and she hopes she can. She hopes she can forgive him, and he can forgive her. Okay. What stood out to me in this scene is Nick says, if we met in real life, and they had that argument early on this relationship, it wouldn't work.
Wow.
I was like,
wow. That's very
uh-oh.
telling.
I'm like,
Yeah.
Nick, this is real life.
Yeah, you're gonna get married to her.
We are living in the real world. This is a real relationship, right?
You are actually engaged. That is a thing that you are.
Yeah, you are.
That's really
so
really
that's
telling.
why I'm
That's
saying,
really telling.
Like, that's very telling.
Yikes.
And then he says, and this kind of feels like an almost like culty thing to me, and he keeps talking about this. He's like, but the pods built a foundation for us. The pods, dude.
Don't you wish we all had the pods?
The
to start?
pods are like a magic pill that prevent any trouble in a relationship. So normally I would have been like, wow, I don't think this is going to work out because I think you still need to work through some things to have a healthy relationship, Danielle, but maybe in the future we can be together. But because we took the pods we're good to go. We can just ignore this.
We have pod energy.
Yeah,
and it's gonna help get us through all these rocky roads.
I would totally have just left last night and never talked to you again. But we talked 5 days through a wall.
You're so right. It is like culty sort of sounding. It's really weird,
dude. We did the pods,
and those random people who sometimes come in and say things. Those two people,
yes.
They're like the cult leaders, or
yes, Fatwa Lachey's took us through through the pods. I buy them Rolexes every other week.
Yeah.
And Rolls Royces, and then our relationship gets to work out.
That pod energy.
That pod energy. Oh, this wouldn't work out, but thank God we did the pod.
I'm suffering, but since I have the pod energy, this marriage is going to work.
We talked through a wall, so everything is better.
We had Taco Tuesday through a wall.
They got to talk. I mean, they got to talk about stuff, but it's just like what we were shown was like we like farmers markets.
Yeah.
We
got a lot of Shane asking what Shane is wearing.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Taco Tuesdays will never be the same again.
Yeah,
there's not a wall between us.
That line concerned me a little bit. That made me. Is that an omen, Ben?
Yeah. That's not good. but maybe, Max, some time living in an apartment together would be good for some of these couples. Maybe Sal getting to watch Mallory go through all of her emails on her laptop is going to be good for their relationship. Max, I
feel really good about that relationship. The way that she deflects and projects and treats
almost
him
gaslights.
Is very good.
Yeah.
But Ben,
oh my God,
Salary is back.
Salary.
I thought he was leaving. I was so thrilled that he stuck around to be to love her and be loved.
He seems nice and bubbly again. No more crying.
Well, apparently he like tried to voice how he felt, and she was like, "You're being jealous," and she put him in his place. She's not afraid to do that. So he is the one who acted out of line. So she put him in his place.
Shame on him.
Shame on him.
Shame on you, Sal.
Salvador.
How dare you?
How dare you be like that?
Oh my goodness.
How dare you?
And Sal's like, it means so much to me that we're having these tough conversations. And Mal's like, it's okay. I forgive you.
I forgive you. Just wait till he sees the footage. Oh my god, that episode came out. He binged it, and he was like, "Oh my god."
Oh my god.
I love the little blooper that we got at the end of this match.
Yeah,
The entire canopy falling.
That
on his
was
head.
a sign from God, dude.
Yeah.
That was a sign.
You fucking
from
idiot!
The love
Get out
is
of
blind gods. Get out! Get out!
He literally has to get hit over the head with a canopy to get it.
Yeah, did the little Tweety birds that he saw told him to get out or something going around his head? Yeah, he's like, yeah. He's like, I'm here because I choose you, and I want you to choose me. And she's like, trust me, I totally wouldn't be here if I didn't totally like choose you as Salvador.
Sal
Like,
Bear.
would she? She's like, you're a good kisser, I think, right? I haven't kissed Jarrett, but you're a good kisser, I think.
Oh,
yeah, that can't be crashing though. It's like, bro,
this is a sign. This is an omen.
A lot of omens have. Maybe that's the theme. They shouldn't even did omen.
Yeah. Then we get this Ayana and Jer Bear conversation.
You're a hater, bruh.
This seemed like a conversation that also needed to be had. It felt like we were just getting all these playful scenes from Iana and Jarrett, and it was time that they started getting some things out there. I think.
Well, the most important part was that they're finally able to pair their pod voices with their faces. Ben, I think good that today I was finally able to pair your podcast voice with your face.
It's really just finally today.
Yeah, this is a really big moment.
You know we met in real life, right? You know we met in person.
No.
You don't recall? You don't recall that? I just couldn't. You couldn't see my face.
Your podcast to your face.
You heard me when we met in real life.
We started this podcast not originally with video, so I'm just now matching your podcast voice to your. Isn't that weird? We used to do that. That's wild, man.
It is wild.
Let's make this about ourselves.
Why not?
But yeah. Diana says that their chemistry is amazing because it's like they've been together for 5 years. And she says that even though she saw him talking to Mallory, she trusted him because he's a grown man.
Okay. I don't know about that.
She had a little more to say. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah.
Like if he lied to me, that's a deal breaker for me. I don't like being lied to. That's a no-go. And cheating is also a huge no-go.
It's a no-go. It's no-go. Cheating's a no-go.
I like how she slips into Sesame Street voice when she gets uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's a no.
No.
She really needs us to know that it's a no-go. Well, I think he's probably lied to you at least on this show.
Honest Jarrett?
2 or 3 times.
His thing is he's brutally honest. It's almost like the opposite.
Well, I don't think he's probably told her what went on between him and Mallory, but
I would like to know that for sure.
Asked.
Yeah.
They probably just didn't talk about it.
Yeah. And Mallory kind of withheld too until one of the last scenes of this episode.
Yeah. She kind of did.
Yeah. Not great. She asked too if he's still friendly with his exes, and I love this line from Jarrett. He says, "I just don't like burning bridges." I don't know what that means, but it's like he says, and he says, she's like, "So would you like still be talking to them if we were married, all of your exes?" And he goes, "Well, I wouldn't be texting them every day."
Just every other day.
Just from time to time, I'd be texting my exes. Why would that make you uncomfortable in any way?
Well, this was my favorite part. He said, "What if I needed an ex who was an HR rep?" Well, yeah. You know, that's a very common thing when you need like an HR or you need someone in HR who's
Of
your
course.
ex, because there's plenty of people in HR who wouldn't see any conflict of interest in talking to their ex. That's not something that people in HR.
What if my ex was my doctor? What if they were a surgeon performing life-saving surgery on me?
Yeah,
Like, I don't want to burn bridges with
What
them.
if we break up and I need a plan B? I need to keep talking to all of my exes. Don't you see how this works?
Don't you see how this works?
You're a hater, bruh.
You're a hater, bro. Oh boy, we got some messy couples this season.
Yeah, she's like, Jared's like, if you were worried about something, would I know? And she's like, nah, I would talk to you about it after.
Oh, that's healthy. Yeah, that's good.
She's like, I can't force you to do anything. He's like, you should just tell me how you feel. And she's like, I trust your words, but I need to see it in action. So step it up.
Yeah,
Bruh.
bro.
Because cheating is a no-go.
I'm glad she's laying down these boundaries in the relationship. Cheating is no.
Goofy. I'm glad she's being like, these are my rules.
She's so goofy. She can't, like, I love it. Even during these like serious conversations, she just like breaks into goofy
I know.
noises and stuff. She's very cute.
Yeah, she's very cute. We get deeps and shakes. And it's Deep D's first cenote cave.
Oh my god, you never been to a cenote? Deep D.
Come on, Shakes
So
went to
excited to
one when
take
he
her
went
to
to
her
a
first
music
cenote.
festival that Diplo was at. Come on, name dropping Diplo.
Diplo.
Are you a big Diplo fan, Ben? Do you know?
I've
who
heard
that
of
is?
Diplo.
Oh my god!
Yes. I actually do. I actually have listened to some of her music in my Spotify. Yeah.
It's a man.
Oh. Maybe not then.
Are you thinking of Dido?
I don't know.
Fuck.
He says he likes to go out and do stuff, and so does Deep D. So he wants to fight for this connection. He thinks he can make this work. We see this a lot. That's the theme. He wants this to work, even though he feels like he's dating his aunt.
Yeah.
Oh, your wife says you're thinking of Dua Lipa.
Yeah. Yep. That's my bad.
You're thinking of the levitating singer.
Thanks, Amy. Yeah, so I have you ever been to a cenote, Max?
I have not. Have you?
Oh, I have. Yes.
It looks pretty lit.
It's lit, dude. It's sick, especially when Diplo was there.
Yeah.
It's the sickest.
Yeah.
And I just wanted I think he wanted her to get the Diplo experience, but like Diplo wasn't there, but at least they got to go to the cenote, which was like
she was there with DJ Puppy Doc, so that was basically as good. He had a very good little quote.
That was like a sexy dolphin type of thing you did. I liked it.
That was a sexy dolphin kind of thing you did. I liked it. She did a sexy dolphin kind of thing. His man loves his animals.
That's right.
I think he's
really
operated
does.
on a dolphin before. Do you think people bring in their pet dolphins?
Where's he from?
To him?
Is he from a
must open up
coast?
an animal hospital, so they must bring in all kind of animals. People have all kinds of domestic
Dolphins.
animals, and he won't turn any away. Bengal tigers,
Cheetahs, yeah.
giant
Elephants.
squid,
yeah.
Centipedes, ants. Do you ever get like ants with broken legs from ant farms? And he's like, we have to amputate. Scalpel. We have to sedate the ant.
Are we gonna bring up every time he brings an animal into a conversation?
Yes. And people
He's like, we need to talk about the elephant in the room. Vet.
All right.
Yeah, he says in this scene that he really thinks the fact that Deep D likes going out is good for their relationship. So Yeah, she likes to go out of the house and do things, so that might work for them.
Yeah,
that
so
they
he wants to
both like
fight for
going
it.
out of the
He wants to
house.
fight.
Yeah.
But-
That's true love, fighting as hard as you can to make it work. True love.
Yes. Well, they have the pods, so anything can happen. They took the pods.
They've got pot energy. Yeah.
So we get group volleyball going
Yeah.
on, and instantly
Party
Shane
time.
takes off his shirt. He is playing the volleyball, and
Shane looks hot as shit. That is not a good way to describe him.
yeah, you described him like poop.
Shane looks like he's having the best day of his life.
Yeah,
in
he's like,
this scene.
I'm going after this one. He points at Natalie. I'm like,
He's having a blast. Oh boy.
Beep, beep, beep.
I like how Danielle and Ayana are like,
God.
fuck this, no sports for us.
Yeah.
Because Ayana's an introvert, apparently, we learned. She's an introvert.
Yeah. I mean, Natalie, I don't think she was really into it, but she still participated a little.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna, blame him for participating, but I mean, I suck
Yeah.
at sports. I might have tried for a second.
Yeah.
I
Why
suck at
not?
sports, but I always take
not?
a co-ed game because it's like a little like I feel like men will be a little less aggro, so it's like always a little more enjoyable for me. Although
Right.
Shane,
Yes.
of course, was
The
not.
toxic masculinity isn't quite as present.
He only
Yeah.
has one level, but usually like the toxicness is like a lot better when it's a co-ed game. I'm like, okay, this is a lot nicer, It's
Yeah.
a lot more copacetic when it's co-ed sports.
I'm glad Nick made sure to announce that his team won for the cameras because I was wondering.
Well,
I
he had to
needed
clue
know.
us in.
Yeah, he knows what the audience wants.
Yes. So yeah, we talk about Shane and Jared are having fun in the sun. And Diana and Jared are talking. She's like, "You're so extra. I didn't realize how extroverted you were, and I'm afraid he'll be annoyed that I want to go out." And he's like, "It's fine. I'll just go out and you'll stay at home. Like, it's fine." But really,
This is what makes it work.
But I mean, that is fine.
Yeah,
If she doesn't want to go, he wants to go out sometime. That's not like a huge deal. But they're just like different. But that's like okay. That's not necessarily like a deal breaker.
no,
I mean,
No.
they'll just have to see if it works.
yeah.
But you know who probably does like to go out a lot?
Who?
Mallory.
Mallory.
Do
Yeah,
you know who probably likes to stay in more?
probably Sal. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh boy.
But we get Natalie and Mallory, and Mallory's like, "I'm so comfortable around Sal." Yeah, the body language is really good. And they're like, the
Yeah.
boys are so cute. And Mallory says it was awkward around Jared and she felt overwhelmed. And she's like about to like kind of dish with Natalie. But then Shane comes around and starts ruining everything and scares Natalie and starts talking about fucking sex and stuff like he always does. And Natalie goes,
Do you want to be murdered?
Do you want to be what?
Do you want to be murdered?
"Do you want to be murdered?"
Oh yeah, I heard that.
She asked him if he wants to be murdered.
They have a very funny relationship.
Yeah, they did have to put a caption. I guess it's not that clear, but I had to soundbite it. "Do you want to be murdered?"
God, I cannot wait for Natalie's parents to meet Shane.
But only he's
Oh.
allowed to joke all the time, okay? And then he sets the rules as to when they have to be serious, okay? Got it, Ben?
Got it. Boundaries, Max. Boundaries.
I'm the one who jokes.
He's laying out boundaries, right? That's what that is.
You are the one for me who have a kid or three.
Oh, like 6.
Whee!
Ooh, honey, little sassy.
Do you like his song?
I thought it was really pretty.
This man has so many talents. He's just
Maybe he should be
unbelievable,
doing
Shane.
our ukulele song at the front of our episode, Max.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
do
we
you
should
think?
just be doing. You should just play that instead.
Yeah.
Ooh, Natalie.
Ooh, have 6 kids. Ah!
Ooh, what?
What? That's a lot.
Shane is like, Nick and Danielle are completely opposite human beings. I'm like, where did that
Yeah.
take from? They're the same. They both like to go on bike rides and farmers markets. They're identical. But
Everyone just wants someone that they can go to a farmer's market with.
that's not a bad take because he's a hippie. And Danielle said she's the opposite of a hippie. So maybe that isn't the wrong take. But then Natalie
True.
says we're different in energy levels, and Shane is like, no one matches my energy. I feed off of energy.
No, Shane says maybe he should adjust his energy levels so that it can be more easily matched at other times.
Oh,
Wink, wink,
he
dot,
says
dot,
he's willing
dot,
to.
dot.
Oh, yeah. That's why he's willing to adjust. That's the only reason he's willing to adjust. I forgot.
Yeah. And then she is clearly annoyed by this, and it's like, we're not talking about that right now.
And then he's like,
It's my birthday.
It's my birthday.
I'm so fucked.
But can we talk about how Shake puts Danielle on his shoulders because she makes some of her shoulder moments?
Yeah.
I guess he's trying to get us. He's like, all right, I'm all in on Deep D, but I need some backups. So I'm gonna. He probably put everyone else on his shoulders.
Yeah.
And there were no
just to
blondes
make
around,
sure.
But if Shayna
Just
had
to
been
see
there,
how it felt.
yeah, he needs to be like, all right, I need to see who else can fit on my shoulders. So he went around.
Well, we know Salvador's not very good at carrying people either. So, based on when, remember when he was running into the ocean? And
Oh yeah, he
playing
dropped her.
with Mallory.
Omen, Sal.
Omen.
Salary is not
Somebody's
working
trying to
out.
talk to you here, Sal, and you need to listen. Okay,
Um,
these are signs, clear-cut signs.
we get Nick and Deep D conversation. There's a lot
Yeah.
happened during this beach
Nick
volleyball.
is like playing island therapist / producer this whole trip. And I love it.
Yeah,
It's
I love
amazing.
this guy. Remember when I was like, Nick and Danielle, they're boring. We don't need them on this show. No, we need Nick. We need
him.
Nick.
We need him. In fact, he would make a great host for the show since the show doesn't have any. I think
yeah,
he'd be a
that would
great
be
host.
good, especially a host named Nick. That would be
Yeah.
something
Oh,
about
that'd
that
be
just
awesome.
feels right.
It just feels good. Yeah.
And he could be like, I'm Nick, whatever his last name is. Obviously, that would be
And
a
he's
really
got great
good
pod
tagline.
energy, and like
Yeah.
he'd just be perfect for the show, I think.
And what if Danielle changed her name to Vanessa? Like that would have a really good feel.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, like
Vanessa, where did that name come from? I like that
I
though.
don't know. It just came to me.
Sounds
Show
good.
could really use hosts. I feel like.
Yeah, I really think it should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nick is telling Deep D that he said "I love you" within 5 days, and Deep D is like, "That's how I feel." I see her head. She's like, "I should tell Shake that I love him," and I'm just like, "Oh, don't do it! Oh, don't do it! Don't do it! Oh, he's
Yeah.
gonna freak out! Don't do it, please!"
And the physicalities of the relationship comes up again too, and she's like, "No, we both want it. We both." And he's like, "You're engaged. You know, you're about to be getting married."
Well, he says
right?"
that after he says, "Are you being physical?" And she's like, "Not yet." He's like, "Well, by the way," he points to like
Just
his
so you
watch.
know.
It's like watch. He's like, "You're getting married." He's like, "Maybe you should have sex."
Maybe you should find out if this is
I'm
going to
a
work
producer on
physically
this
for
show
you
now.
both before you
And she's
jump
like,
into a
"Yeah, but I
lifelong
feel
commitment.
great about it." And she's like, "Yeah, he's the first brown guy I've kissed." And Nick is just like so into it. He like loves the drama. He's like, "Oh my god, tell me more! Like that's amazing. I can't believe this is the first time I'm hearing about this." He like sits down with some wine. He's like, "Oh my god, girl, let's dish. Tell me about all your ex-lovers. Tell me about your life."
He's amazing.
I just relate to him because I love this shit too. That's why we're covering this podcast.
Yeah. Did he come on the show for love, or did he come on the show because he's a super fan and he wants to like talk to all the
I just wanted
contestants
to
and
be
become a
amidst
producer?
the drama. Oh my god, just to see the show, the set, how everything works
In
to be
person.
in the pods. It's not like they do studio tours. I had to fake a relationship. It's like you can get invited to one of these weddings. I had to be the groom.
And guess what? It landed me in Mexico talking to all my favorite Love is Blind contestants.
Do you guys really think I give a shit about a condo? Think I'd wear dog socks the first time I met my wife?
I love it. I love it.
We get
He's so
Danielle
much
and
fun.
Shake, and Shake's like, "Yeah, I'm having a really fun time. It's super chill, no pressure. I
Yeah.
mean, like, it's like chill. Like we're having like a chill. It's like the total exact opposite vibe.
We're like bros. you
Yeah, we're
know?
like, she's my fun aunt. You know when you have a fun aunt who you're engaged to, like that's the vibe.
Are we
It's chill.
physical? Yeah, we high five. We fist bump. I don't what? We're physical.
Yeah, come on. She's like that sexy dolphin that you have in the pool in your backyard. Come on. So we get to some more dinner scenes. And I'm just like so bummed out when they leave Mexico. I'm like, do we have to leave Mexico? I just want more
No.
hanging out.
I know.
But
It's not
all
fair.
good things must come to an end.
Yeah.
We get Deep Tea and Shake at dinner, and they're excited. They're excited to get to do. They're like, isn't it fun that we get to do things instead of just talking about them in the pods? And it's like, well, this has been going on, so like, whatever. We need to talk about that.
They miss the pods, all of them. You can tell. They're
like, this is
that
not
pod
as fun
energy.
as
They're like,
the
I need
pods."
it back. I need
Yes.
it.
Well, that's how
I
they
need
keep
those
the cult
pods.
going, because you just
Yeah.
they it's like what the key to a good cult is that you keep them thirsty for more.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
then they
Everything
keep
was
paying
working.
you.
Everything was working in their lives. Everything made sense when they were in those pods.
And then
And now that they're out, they don't know what to think.
you're
and they
very
just
when
need
you're
to
in the
go
pods,
home.
you're very far from having to go back to your real world and your job.
Yeah. They want to go home. They want to
You're
go home to their
isolated. They
pod.
feed you. You're with like all
Taco
of your friends.
Tuesdays in the pods.
You're all with your friends in this little like combine, like away
You don't have
from.
you don't have to see your partner that you're not attracted to when you're there. It's amazing.
This is cute. Shake says he's worried because he's opening an animal hospital and he's gonna have a lot of responsibility in his life. But then Deep Tea's like, I want to support you. I'm gonna be there with you. Like I have your back. It's gonna be okay. And then I like how in confessional
Yeah.
he's like, wow, like someone with these qualities isn't someone that I've been with before, and I've never like met someone really like this before. It's all my other relationships have been lusty. They haven't been they haven't been a hallmark of my previous relationships.
Yeah.
And
he's essentially finding out what an actual relationship is.
yes.
Yeah.
And then I like that then he's talking to her and he's like, yeah, you know what? Why don't we focus more on what could go right instead of focusing more on what could go wrong? And it's like, yeah, that probably is a healthier outlook.
Yeah, absolutely. Some universal truths, as a matter of fact, not even just with a relationship, but with most things in life. That's probably a good way to look at things.
However, Ben, there is something that does concern me. Okay,
Yes.
so he has been literally talking on camera about how he's not sexually attracted to her.
Yeah, that's fucked. And doing it to other contestants too, and it's spreading around clearly.
But this is literally, she's going to see this one day on camera, like,
yeah,
I'm not sexually attracted to her.
Yeah, that's
She
really
reminds
hurtful.
me of my aunt.
Yeah, it's really hurtful.
So even if he one day becomes sexually attracted to her,
yeah,
she's always going to have this footage. Now, a similar thing happened.
I think they need to become more intimate. I really think it would help. It really would.
Ben, even if that happens, this might not be something that she will one day have an easy time getting over.
No,
because
absolutely not. Because that would be her partner saying that on national television,
or
embarrassing
just
her.
hearing it, period. So
yeah, it's hurtful. Yeah.
On Love Island UK last summer, there was a couple that felt there was a couple, they had like an initial coupling and they were like getting along this way, but a guy said to another guy like, hey, like I'm really enjoying my time with her, but I'm just not feeling that kind of like lusty sexual attraction, you know. I'm
Yeah.
just not feeling that I want to like grab her, something to that extent, you know.
Essentially what Shake's been saying. Yeah.
Yes, but not as bad as Shake. He has
Mm.
not said something like she's like my aunt or
Yeah.
like there's no sexual attraction. He's
Right.
basically just saying like it's not there. It actually was not as bad as what Shake has been saying.
Right. Yeah.
So, but eventually he did have more sexual attraction to her. Now, they turned out breaking up because they had other relationship issues. This is Jake and Liberty, by the way, if anybody is listening. So they had other relationship issues, and like people also accused him of like just dating her like for the show and stuff. But Love Island really fucks with the contestants. So in a game on the show, they turned out they started dating. He started being attracted to her physically. After they started dating on the show, so they're still on Love Island.
Yeah.
They played a clip of them. They played a clip for them of him saying that,
Oh.
and she was never able
R.I.P.
to get over it.
R.I.P. Oh.
I mean, like they had other issues, but she never got over it. And I just don't think you ever get over it. How do you get over hearing your partner saying that they're not sexually attracted to you?
It's incredibly embarrassing. It's hurtful. It's it's all of it. It's
Dude, like how do you get that out of your head? I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of evidence in like, hey, like you're with me all the time, like we're having sex. Like obviously you're sexually attracted to me for having sex all the time. But like you say like it's like I'm being with my aunt, like, bro. Like,
And
am I glad that he said it for reality TV and because I like when people are honest? Hell yeah. But do I think they're still together to this day? No.
It's really hard to make a relationship work if someone is always going to have the insecurities that my partner doesn't find me attractive.
Exactly.
Really difficult.
Yeah, it was a really good season of Love Island. And I love how much they fuck with the contestants. Great trash.
The producers did him dirty.
Dude, they they do everyone dirty on that show. They had a whole night called like movie night or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like the guys and girls are the boys and girls, I call them, are on either side, and they answer trivia. And then they get to pick from like a bunch of clips with different names. And the clips, they just like play different shit from the show that like reveals shit that like they did to their partner.
Yeah. We only see sprinkles of that in this show, but like Shane going into the pods and thinking that it's Shayna, not Natalie, and things like you could see little fixes here and there where they're like where they're making them walk into a pile of shit.
Yeah, but they don't play the clips from the show for the people. Like on Love Island, they play the clips for their partner of the bad shit they did. That's like playing the clips of Shane talking to Shayna for Natalie later on in the show. Like how amazing would that be?
Oh, it'd be amazing.
Like that's the drama they stir up on that show. That's why it's amazing. Anyway, we get to Nick and Danielle's dinner.
We finally get to this convo about their cat and dog.
Well, first, Danielle will be his emergency contact. She will cook for him, and Nick says nothing sexier than a Salisbury steak. I'm like, dude, that's like the number.
She should put the emergency contact thing in her vows.
Yes,
I pledge to always be your emergency contact. I will
cook you a Salisbury steak. The number one TV dinner meal in America.
I don't know if I've ever had a Salisbury steak. When he described it as like a meatloaf in gravy, I was like,
it's kind of like a meatloafish type thing. They're pretty good if you have like a really good one, but it's definitely not like fancy.
Is it more of a Southern thing?
I think.
I know you spent some time in the South in North.
Yeah, I think it's more of a Southern thing, but
is
it's
it
quite good? Yeah.
Interesting.
It's hearty. Yes. But yeah, they're worried about the dog and the cat getting along.
I mean, dogs and cats.
The tension is thick.
Dogs and cats, man. It's been a battle since time began, dogs and cats.
But you know what?
It's dogs and cats are like Jessica and Amber. You know, it's just
I'm not worried about the dog and the cat because there's one thing that I've learned on this show, Ben.
Love is really blind.
And I think that the dog and the cat will fall in love.
We need to put the dog and cat in pods.
Yeah, put them on the other side of two walls. No, bring them to the pod set. I'm sure the producers will allow it. I want to see pets. Love is Blind pets.
I think Shake would love to see that too.
Put a dolphin on the other side. See, dolphins are very intelligent.
They are. Yeah. I hope it works out for the dog and cat.
Yeah, that
I
was
really
what we really
does.
took away.
But I
from this
mean,
scene.
maybe look, Nick's condo sounds amazing. So maybe there's enough space for all of them, you know?
Yeah.
Let's hope.
I mean, she's talking about how she's gonna make the dog love her more than him, but he's not concerned about it. He's like, that's not gonna fucking happen.
Yeah, he's like
He's like,
really
he loves
set.
everyone. He doesn't care, but he's like, you're gonna have to get rid of your cat.
Yeah, that's essentially. I was like, well, what's the solution then? Because
"Fuck your stupid cat."
this is. He was like, well, that's not gonna work. It's just not gonna work.
He's like, my
It's like-
condo, my rules. Fuck your stupid cat.
At the end of this, when they all go to their apartments, I was like, did Nick specifically request that they go to his condo instead of one of the apartments that they have for them?
Yeah. Yeah, I was wondering him walking around being like, my condo's way bigger than this. This sucks. What do you call this? This is an apartment. It's not even a condo. Disgusting.
Are you guys renting these out for the cast? Because I own.
I
my own
own
condo.
a condo?
You guys can save money because I got a condo. Have you seen my condo socks?
She says that she's worried that he is going to be afraid that she's always going to be this way, kind of like, you know, like anxious. But she says the other night she was having a panic attack and he just like stares at her for a little bit
Oh man.
at first. I mean, it turns out well, but he's just
Yeah.
like staring at her and she's like, what's going on? And he's like, I'm just processing. And she's like, okay,
Yeah.
because you're not making me feel better. I was just
Yeah.
like, yeah, you're not doing it. But then he's like, I'm just trying to help. And I did like this because she's like, okay, because I know that you're not, I know you, and I know that you're not trying to like make it worse. I know that
Yeah.
you're trying with me.
He just
And
doesn't know how to deal with it, I think. I
Yeah,
don't
she's
know.
like, I know that you want to make this work, and I know that you are trying and that you're not scared. And he's like, I'm
Yeah.
not. He's like, I'm not. I'm trying to figure out what to say because I don't want to make things worse. I want to make them better. And I really
Yeah.
liked it because like
yeah, I
they're
thought it was a
trying.
healthy conversation. Yeah.
I think that one of the best way to approach relationships is to, when you know you have a good one, is to know that like the other person isn't trying to hurt you, and to remind
Yeah.
yourself that even when you get upset, you know.
Yeah.
I think sometimes people, I think Shane needs to remind himself of that sometimes. Like he just flies off the rails at Natalie sometimes, and it's like, I don't think Natalie's like against you, you know.
Not at all. She's
So I
head
think
over
it's like
heels for
clearly
him.
Nick
Yeah.
isn't like against you, you know. He's just trying to figure it out, and I think he doesn't think
He
Danielle's
probably
against
doesn't
him.
have a lot of experience dating a person who has these levels of anxiety.
Yeah.
And that's something that he'll learn to navigate in the
Yeah.
relationship. Yeah.
But it was a little funny. I was like, dude, you have to say
You gotta say something right now.
She's saying she's saying she was anxious and now she is anxious, and you're just like freezing. It's like, dude, just say
That's
like,
just gonna make her anxiety worse.
you gotta say something, dude. You could
Yeah.
always you are always talking.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel for her here.
But it ended up well. It was very sweet.
Yeah. I think the relationship's got legs, minus that one concerning thing he said in bed.
Oh, about how the pods are the only reason they're still together.
Yeah, and
Well, he said that in confessional. He didn't say that to her.
No.
face.
It was what was he saying? It was he was saying that I don't know if in real life if that fight had happened. If
He
we would
didn't say
still
that
be
to her.
together.
He said that in
Oh,
confessional.
that was in confessional.
Yes.
but she's gonna hear that.
Yeah.
Again.
Well, that you can come back from.
Yeah,
I'm concerned about the ant thing. That is that's hard to come back from.
really hard. Yeah.
We get Natalie and Shane, and we got to start that off with this with when the food comes out.
Oh, I think it.
What? Is it? What
It's
is
really
it?
good.
What is it? What is it?
It's really good.
What is it?
I can't talk to you with food in my mouth.
Sorry. Okay.
I'm trying to be respectful.
It's like when you have a dog with something in its mouth. Like, what's in your mouth? Open up your mouth.
What is it?
What is it? Open up your mouth.
He's gonna need to brush his teeth after that, Max. Don't you think? Oh, he is the soundbite king. My God. I need him to date Ayana so that we can just hear all these wild sounds back and forth.
I know.
Fuck.
Couple of Sesame Street characters dating.
Oh
each
my
other.
God, that was so funny. The way he eats like a fucking he's in like medieval times. He's like digging in.
Like he's a medieval king or something.
Yeah, he's like, and then he's like, I'm just being respectful. It's like, well, you still have food in your mouth. He's just like digs in with his hands and shoves it. Oh God, really eat, Shane, eat. It's like he's like, oh my God, our first dinner date.
I better get used to this.
Can't wait. She's like, yeah, I'm eating my parents' first dinner. It's gonna be swell.
I love he says, "Are you gonna wear that red dress for your mom? For my mom? When you meet her?" And she's like, so taken aback by this. She goes, "What?
He's
No.
like, I want you to look sexy for my mom."
It's so sexy. My mom needs to see you looking this sexy."
Yeah, my mom needs only the sexiest. Like he's like, so I'm not too high energy for you, right? I didn't feed off your soul. And she's like, no, it's fine. But just like when you're with the guys, it's like a whole other level. And he's like, but you still love me, right? And she's like, yeah.
This is kind of like a recurring issue with him is like, I need compliments and continually compliment our relationship, continually compliment me. He needs validation a lot. And she's just not that type of person that does that, even though like she may feel it, she doesn't articulate it a lot.
But in
And
this
that really
scene,
bothers him. It really
I
bothers
felt
him.
like in this scene, like she's like really not feeling the fact that he's like high energy with his friends,
Yeah,
with like
well,
the dudes.
her
Like,
and Ayana, yeah.
the way she was saying yeah was not just like the normal like I don't want to compliment you. It was like he's saying like, do you still love me even though I'm high energy with the guys? And she was like, yeah. It was like wild, man.
It seems like poor communication to me. I don't. Why would she have problems with that? I don't know.
Because she like, finds it annoying. She's like really annoyed by it. She doesn't like that he showboats because he's Shane.
She knew what she was getting into with this one. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, and she should have. But I like how he's upset that she doesn't brag about the relationship.
Yeah.
Why don't you walk around talking about how good our sex is?
Say more nice things about us. Yeah.
About us. Why don't you say that we're the best couple ever? That we're so amazing.
I don't know. It's
Why don't you say that we knocked boots?
yeah.
Can you believe that at the end of this conversation, he was so over the top that she shut down and then he stormed off and said, I'm done. That Shane pulled
like
up
a
the
Shane
class
thing.
stick.
Yeah.
This is over. I'm done. And he stormed away.
I don't. If you're gonna make like a big deal out of this, if you're gonna be a dick about it, then I'm done. Are we done here? Are we done now?
Listen, if you think I'm a dick, I feel like that's kind of weird. No offense, but
Like, you're being weird. This is over.
Oh, Shane.
Oh, Shaney. Love ya.
Never change for the sake of our televisions,
Please.
please.
I'm sure they'll figure it out.
And with that exit from Shane, what a convenient entrance from Shayna.
Oh my God, the queen has returned.
The queen is back.
Dun, dun, dun.
Where's that war song?
Are you ready for war?
Howdy doody.
Howdy doody. Kyle goes for the jugular right away.
Where's your ring? Where's
your
my mother's engagement
Where-
ring? That meant a lot to me.
And she's like, "You're being ridiculous."
You're
I'm
being
like,
ridiculous.
"No, but where is it though?" That's
I hawked it at a pawn shop, obviously. I
Got
needed
20
some
bucks
money
for
to
it.
get back from Mexico because once you leave the show, they stop paying you.
she needed money to buy clothes because she
Yeah,
only
all I
a
had was a
robe.
robe, and those were empty suitcases because I had to ditch.
I do hope he got his mother's ring back.
I don't. He's an idiot.
Fair enough.
At this point, dude, get a clue.
Well, I hope for his
Get a
mom's
clue,
sake.
dude. No, I hope he gets his ring back, and I feel very sorry for him. But get a clue, bruh. Bruh, get a clue. He's not an idiot. He's just an optimist.
Yeah, and
I'm not.
In this conversation with Shayna and Kyle, Shayna just pretty much continues to stay consistent with what she's been saying the whole time, which is, look, everything's moving fast. It freaks me out, and I think we have some serious, obvious problems here. We're very different people. I don't know
It's not
logistically how this
communicating.
can all work out. And he's just sitting here on the other side of the table, just going, "I love you."
I'm not
I can't
worried
even-
about the logistics. There's just so much about you that love. I'm willing to sacrifice all of my beliefs. All of my
he says,
core-
"I'm willing to compromise." How do you compromise?
I'll
Okay,
believe
one
in
of our
God.
kids will be an atheist, the other will be a Christian. That's how we'll compromise. How about
I'll stop believing in evolution and the Big Bang Theory.
that? Also, how about this? If you start watching the Big Bang Theory, then
I'm willing to compromise.
I'm willing to compromise. This is just and it's funny because she's doing these confessionals at the exact same time, and obviously we don't know the timing for real, but it's just funny because she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm going for Shane."
Yeah,
I'm
it
coming
has
back to the
nothing to
show
do
for
with this
Shane.
at any point. It doesn't matter. She just can't. I mean, at the end of it, it shows her opening her mouth to maybe be like, "Yo, it's not actually about you." But based on the
Yeah.
trailer at the end, and based on everything we know, I don't think she's ever going to tell him that it's about Shane.
Oh, but he'll find out.
Yeah, maybe when the show airs.
Yeah.
But he'll still be
when
like,
he
I
sees
don't
them
care
making
that
out in
you
front of
love
him.
Shane. I'm willing to compromise. You can date Shane while we date. But I do love this. She's
I'm
like,
willing to compromise. I'm willing to be the guy that works on you in Shane's house. I'll be your pool boy.
you can cuck me. I don't care. I'll be a cuckold. You can do
we
whatever
don't
you
ever
want.
have to sleep together. We don't ever have
Yes.
to kiss. I will stay in the basement. You
Haven't
can have
you
your own
seen-
room.
Haven't you seen how much you've embarrassed me and I'm still sticking around? Obviously, anything goes with me. Shayna tells us that she has love for Shane and that even though he is engaged to Natalie, she's not taking a back seat in her life. She's going for Shane. Yes, this is reality television.
Get
This
it,
is
girl.
art. You go, girl. Yes, she's a girl boss, dude.
Give us that good TV.
Thank you. Oh my fucking god, man. That is just
Are you ready for what? In that preview for the next 4 episodes, Shane looks pretty excited about it. I'll tell you that much. He looks very excited.
what are you wearing? You're looking
What are you
right at
wearing?
me. Just fucking
You're looking at
fucking-
me, Shane.
just fucking tell me.
No, I want to hear you say it. I want
Please.
to hear you say it.
Please tell
Shane
me.
goes. Shane. Every time Shane is with Shane, he's going like this. He's got his hand.
Oh my God, dear Lord.
Anybody got a buck? Somebody in the park, throw me a fucking buck.
Oh,
This would be a great segment for like if the show had hosts for them to like introduce the next phase of the show and be like, "There's 3 weeks left. The couples are
Yeah.
moving into apartments," but they didn't.
It would have
the show
been really
doesn't have
helpful.
hosts, so
Yeah.
it was just a weird kind of shift to be like, "Oh, they're in Chicago. Like this is a."
Yeah.
But instead we got vlogs of people packing, and then it was interesting just to be like, instead of like waiting for the next episode, it's like, oh, 10 minutes left, Chicago. But I guess we wanted like a fun cliffhanger, so it was good. I get it.
I liked. Was it Danielle's family when they're like talking to them on the phone? I heard one of Danielle's family over FaceTime go to Nick, "You're really in love with her?" It's been a week. You're really
It's like risk development. Her?
And he's like, yes, I love her.
We took the pods. Otherwise, I would have broken up with her after this fight we had the other night. But we did this thing called the pods, and we're gonna start wearing white robes all the time. And
I'm
I
really
actually have to
excited for the
cut
family
myself
episode.
off from all of my family, and so does Danielle, unless you do the pods too. So you have a choice.
We're on level 4 of the Love is Blind pods. You're not even a level 1, so I can't technically I can't even be talking to you right now.
If you transfer all of your money and property to me, I can transfer all of my money and property up to the level 7s. If that's the way that this can work. You can come live on the ranch with us. That's where we're going right now. It's in Chicago.
That old Chicago ranch.
It's an apartment building.
It's a condo. It's Nick's condo.
He's like, I'm not giving out my condo though.
Oh man.
But they get their devices back. Oh, that's a big thing. It's like they get their devices back. Ooh,
whoa!
The devices are back. But I guess that means that like shorties can hit them up though, you know.
Yeah. Hopefully
21 days until the wedding. Ooh, spicy. But then I'm like, no, the
Sassy
show's gonna be over soon. No, but still 5 episodes left, so I'm pumped.
Of course. Me too.
But then we get the salary conversation that has the world talking. The world.
The whole world.
The whole world.
There's nothing else happening in the world right now.
World
just this.
In their hands, they've got the whole. Can't sing it, Ben.
Is that Diplo?
That's yes. Yep, she wrote that song. Salvador has something on his mind, so he's like, "No more work for the night, okay? No more work." And I was like, "Okay."
Please stop checking your emails.
Stop checking your fucking.
You haven't looked at me since we've gotten here. It'd
be
really nice if you could close your laptop.
Weird. You already don't want to talk to me. He's like, "There's something." He's like, "I know there's nothing going on with Jarrett, but there's something I need to talk about." And she's like, "Okay." I thought I already, like shut this down and didn't want to talk about it at all.
I thought I already told you that
blame on you.
I thought I already told you that you were being unreasonable and jealous, and then the canopy fell on your head, and we both agreed we'd never talk about this again.
He's like, "I don't know if I was imagining things, but I heard you say we don't." Right after that, right after you talked to Jarrett, apparently she said, "We don't necessarily have to get married at the end of this."
I see why he was crying now.
Yes.
I get it. and then she says, I'm feeling so blindsided.
I'm so blindsided. She's the one who has been blindsided the past few days.
Yeah.
Why is this happening now? Why is he bringing this up now? So this is all his fault because he doesn't deserve the time to process this thing that happened to him. And once an event happens, you're never allowed to bring it up again. You only have a few short hours to talk about it. And when you process something, you don't get to bring it up again.
There's a statute of limitations sort of thing with this.
Yes.
If you've missed the 48-hour window, then I'm sorry, but you can't bring it up anymore.
It's a writ of habeas corpus situation. So you're not really allowed to talk about it. Yeah. Mallory knows the rules, and
she knows the rules.
Doesn't.
Yep.
And she's like, "Well, so what if I did?
Yeah.
But what's the big deal? Like, yeah, I thought if we're not ready to get married, then we're not going to." And he's like, "Okay, but once again, why did it happen right after you talked to Jarrett?
The timing is pretty important here."
Yes, and she's like, "Okay." And I have the convo. Do you want to hear the convo?
Yeah,
because it's just, we have to play it.
Yep.
He did make a little bit of a comment about like my ring not being gold. It could have been right after the comment was made about the ring. And then in my head, I felt like, well, I don't know. We're engaged. Do you know me then? Like, I don't know, like maybe I'm a little bit in my head then too. Maybe you really don't want to get married to me. Like maybe why did you propose to me? Do you really want to get married at the end of this? Maybe it was a little bothered that I felt like all the women like had like exactly the type of ring that they were like really wanted or kind of had mentioned.
I didn't know about the ring. I didn't know that it had actually affected you like that.
I love my ring. It's beautiful and I love it. I didn't make a big deal about it because it isn't. But I think I got a little bit in my head with that comment and feeling a little like slighted.
Projecting, deflecting, and placing blame much.
My God.
This is
No
really
accountability, no ownership to it at all.
Really
In fact, she
mean.
turns it right around every
also,
time.
the mixed messaging in here is just like wild.
She's
He's
all
like,
over the place. Yeah.
he's like, okay, so why did this happen? And she still doesn't really exactly say why. She's just like, okay, what can I pick from this to flip it around? She's like, oh, so he brought up the ring, and I guess he mentioned the ring. You know, the ring.
Yeah. So that means he doesn't know me.
He doesn't know me, and I guess all the
But
girls,
I do love the ring.
you know, the ring. But you didn't get me the ring that I wanted. But I love my ring. I love it. So I don't care, but I feel slighted. I love it, but I feel slighted. So she's putting him down.
And Jarrett, I'm sorry, Sal responds with, I think, a perfect response to this, which is like he points out the obvious and he says, but look, Jarrett is telling you this and he is engaged to another person here. Why would someone who's engaged be having a conversation like this with you at this moment? He's like, it's inappropriate. It's completely inappropriate.
Yeah, I'll play that.
Sometimes I can't tell like how much you really care about me.
What?
You are my fiance, and I want to do that. Look, I know you love your ring, and I could have asked more details, and that's my fault. At the end of the day, I chose this ring, and I wanted to give it to you.
And I love it.
I just don't understand why he would make that comment to you. It's like, that's not cool. Even with your fiance there, you're still saying this shit about someone else. You already have another fiance. Like, why are you doing this?
This situation to ask him, because he's saying, what's going on with the whole Jarrett thing, and why did you say that we don't necessarily have to get married? And she flips it around to say, because you didn't get me the perfect ring, I don't know how you feel about me.
Yeah.
She literally says, I sometimes don't know how you feel about me, which is literally how she feels about him. She doesn't know sometimes how she feels about him. She's saying how she feels.
She's projecting
to him.
she's
projecting. She's attacking him when all he wants is a straight answer.
She's gaslighting him.
He's gaslighting. He just wants a straight answer. Poor Salvador. That's not cool, bro.
Salvador doesn't deserve this at all.
Oh my God.
Sweet.
And it feels like
Salvador?
every time he just starts to think that it's not going to work, then they patch things up and they'll have sex and they'll get healing over things, and then it'll happen all over again, and it's just like it's this vicious cycle that keeps happening with these two.
She kind of made it be like, it was like Jarrett was being wrong, but it's like she totally let Jarrett do that. She didn't shut down the conversation.
Yeah,
she was just as much a part of it.
Yeah,
and then it's like, I mean, like she could have been like, I mean, like the ring thing, like, I mean, like women a lot of times, do want like input on the rings. But you know what they could do? They could get a new ring. Like it's not like the end of the fucking
it's not
world.
a big deal.
Like it's fixable, guys. The situation is fixable. Things were very quick.
I'm gonna go ahead and go out on a limb and say that the show gets these rings for free from some specific jewelry company,
there's a lot
and
of
that it can
things
easily
going
be
on.
replaced.
There's a lot of things going on to Salvador, so he didn't think about it, you know.
Yeah.
But the crux of the argument is that Mallory just brought this up to gaslight to gaslight Salvador
Yeah,
and to
it didn't
avoid.
really feel like she was really listening to the fact that he was hurt in this conversation, hurt him, and she didn't try in any way to make him feel better about it, to take any accountability, to apologize, to say, I realize now looking back that may have been an inappropriate conversation, and I should have talked to you about it much sooner. Nothing was done here to help heal this problem.
It's time for her to fess up. It's time for her to be a true communicator and let him know what's going on. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe she
Otherwise, what's the
needs-
point? If they're not going to try and grow in their relationship, what's the point?
I don't know, but this shit was fucked up. This is fucked up. There's no really two sides here. This was fucked up. This wasn't like it's hard in this situation, like to be this. It was like no. He was being mature in the situation.
I think it's something.
Especially, sorry, can I say one more thing?
Yes.
It's just especially. I just don't want to forget it. It's just especially what really bothered me was like, why are you bringing this up now?
Yeah,
it's like people in relationships should be able to bring things up when they want to. It should be able to communicate things. It doesn't matter.
It takes time to process something.
It takes things to and you really blindsided him. He thought about something a few days later, and he said maturely, like, "Hey, I know there's nothing going on between you and Jarrett, but I thought about something, and it's been bothering me, and I would like to talk about it."
Yeah, I think even that conversation between Jarrett and Mallory, I think that Sal and Mal can come back from that if there's accountability taken from this, if there's apologies, if there's a little bit of humility in this conversation. But there's none whatsoever.
I'm just not getting a good match feel.
No.
I'm not getting a good vibe.
No, that one's not going to work out.
I'm not getting a good vibe at all. That would very much surprise me.
Yep.
So at the end of episode 5, Ben, so who are we feeling good about to the altar? Or who are we feeling good about who will get married?
Nick and Danielle.
Yeah, I'm feeling good about Nick and Danielle.
That's honestly, that might be it.
I think Shake and Deep D will say yes.
Interesting.
In 3 weeks, I think they'll say yes.
I could maybe get on board with you, but I don't.
No, I think Shane and Natalie will say yes. Sorry, that's 2. I don't say Shake and DP. I take back.
I think only one couple's making it through. I think it's Nick and Danielle.
No, it's got to be more than one.
No, I think it's just one.
Just one?
If Shake and Deepty do get married, they will be divorced by the time the reunion comes around.
Well, yeah, but we're just talking about. I'm just saying who's getting married.
Yeah, and I'm still not sure about that.
Who's making at the end of episode 10?
Yeah, and I'm telling you, I'm not sure about
2
Shake
people
and
saying yes. I'm just saying Nick and Danielle, Shane and Natalie.
I think just Nick and Danielle.
Okay, let's see what happens.
Yep. And anyone else who's doing it, I worry for them. I worry.
If there's one thing that I've learned at the end of all of these episodes, it's that
love is really blind.
That's one thing we've learned, and the show has a very
beautiful.
strong perspective on that because it's a proven scientific experiment, and we're all going to move out to the ranch, don our robes, and do it. We're going to take the pods and.
Everyone's name will either be Nick or Vanessa for reasons we don't know why, but every person will be changed to Nick and Vanessa.
Yes. Let's change our names. So.
Oh,
what a great first installment that's been this season.
And the preview looks amazing.
It has not let us down.
No. Wow.
We are going to be back on Friday with 2 new episodes. Very exciting.
And tentatively, I think we can say this now. We will have a special guest joining us on Friday. Rachel Ward from season 3 of The Circle on Netflix.
Yes.
will be joining us for one of those episodes to recap that. So you can look forward to that as well.
Yeah, if you're new to following our podcast, as you're gathering, we do the first show that we started covering was Netflix's The Circle. So we have some friends on there, and it's always good to have guests. Especially, it's good to have perspective from women when covering Love Is Blind. Because we're dudes.
Two dudes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to get some women in here. the perspective. But you watching The Circle, it's a great show, and you can always check out our Circle coverage because we've covered all 3 seasons now. Season 1 is a rewatch, but we've covered all the seasons of that, so you can check that out. Keep out an eye if you watch Celebrity Big Brother. We're about to cover last night's episode in just a little bit. And keep an eye out on Friday and Saturday. All of the episodes for the next installment of the next 4 episodes of Love Is Blind will be out. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram and give us 5 stars only, nothing less. No constructive criticism, just 5 stars.
We hate it
on Apple, and write us positive, glowing reviews. It really helps out the podcast. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us in socials. It helps us get guests because that's how we contact them. And then when they look at these things, they go, oh, look at these followers. Because when we look at our listeners, we have like a huge amount of listeners, but those metrics don't show up on socials. So please follow us on these things. That really helps out the podcast. And thank you so much for listening. Love Is Blind has been an amazing boost for us. And thank you so much. We love you guys. Like I love you. Ben, and you want to say anything?
What he said.
Yeah, sorry. I got really passionate there. Love is in the air. Also, you should watch Marry Me in theaters. I mean, Ben's so amazing.
Or on Peacock.
Or on Peacock. Yeah, I saw it on
streaming.
Peacock. It was streaming. It said that State Farm paid for it. I only had to watch one ad.
I will say I saw it in theaters, and I told Max this. The energy in that theater was electric.
Oh my god,
it was electric. I told him I hadn't
songs
seen
are so
energy like this
catchy.
since Mamma Mia 2. Here we go again in theaters.
This isn't even a sponsored ad. We just both have seen Marry Me, and
we just want to keep plugging it.
Marry me.
I've been singing it,
yes,
since it happened.
Marry me, say yes. And Owen Wilson, he's just so excited to be in the film. He's so passionate about his character. The chemistry is amazing between them two. The kiss chemistry is a little awkward, but the chemistry between them is incredible.
Wow.
So you gotta see this movie, guys. Wow. It's like Love Is Blind. It's very similar. They get married within a split second on stage. It's so relevant.
Again, we're not getting paid
for
this promotion.
Marry Me. So DM us and say, oh my god, I love Marry Me too. Once again, we don't want constructive criticism of Marry Me. We just want you to DM us and tweet at us or come in the chat to give us 5-star reviews of Marry Me.
Oh, okay, let's get out of here, Max.
Marry me, say marry me, marry me, marry me, say yes.
Marry me, say yes.
It's the place you go when you finish your show. We're your 2 best friends. Our names are Max and Ben. We're self-proclaimed television experts. It's Reality Alert.
Oh, I